adopted.
Everybody gets to beat up college athletics a little bit about money and all this kind of stuff, but that was a pretty neat thing what those kids did out there. They gave me a card that was signed by a bunch of kids sharing their condolences over the loss of Coach Smith. They gave me also the poster, not poster, but the banner that they held up before the game. And college athletics is not all bad. There's some darn good things that go on there. And, told those kids that I would keep those. They will never be tossed. I will always have those. But it has been a tough week. It had nothing to do with the game today. Pittsburgh played fantastic. Jamie's club was so much more prepared, well prepared than we were. They shot the ball better. They've shot it all year long. Our defense really helped them do that. But you have to give them the credit for making the shots. It was a weird game. I was not concerned at all when it was 10-2 or 10-0, whatever it was, because I've never lost a game in the first 3 minutes of the game. I know we got it tied 2 or 3 times, and then we went and had another dry spell, and they made a bunch of shots. I think they made more threes in the first half than they have in any of their average for the year. But we helped them because we didn't guard them very effectively. Their looks were open looks, and still you don't have to make them all. But they made a bunch of shots, and they should be congratulated for that. You look at the 25 assists, 4 turnovers for us, shoot 49%, out-rebound, particularly in the second half, I think. So you'd think that that would be a win for us. But they were sensational shooting the ball, and you look down and their assist-to-error ratio was 30-5. I thought Cameron Wright was sensational for them, and I know he missed a couple of free throws there at the end, but I thought he was sensational, and I had no idea he was going to end up 10-0 in the assist-to-error ratio. But the best team won the game today. And I'm very disappointed. Even in the first play of the game, we were standing there flat-footed, and they make a nice play and steal the tap and lay it up. I mean, it's just, we have a guy back as defensive safety. You shouldn't have those kind of things happen, but it's coach's fault. They were so much more aggressive than us early and so much more positive in everything we did. And then, like I say, we got it tied or something. I don't think we ever had to leave. I think we had it tied a couple of times. And then they went on a tremendous run again. Early in the second half, I thought it was still any man's ball game, and they make their first 7 shots. So am I disappointed and upset with my team in several ways? Yes. But I think you also have to understand that Pittsburgh had a lot to do with the outcome of the game.
When teams shoot that well, what can you do?
You can guard them better, Andrew. I mean, Justin Jackson really got a hand up right in the guy's face right in front of their bench early in the second half, and that might have been their 7th out of 7 in a row. And that's the first one that we really did a nice job of guarding. So, you know, there was a timeout right then, and I just told our club, I said, if they're making shots like that, I can live with that. I mean, even their first or second possession, we've got the guy almost in a double team on the block, and he steps, and we jump up in the air. And there's no reason to do that. And then all of a sudden, now he's got an open layup. So what you can do is guard them better. And I really believe that the better you guard them, the less likely that they're going to shoot 60-65% for the game.
What kind of things did Pitt do today to sort of shut down Marcus Page?
I think that James is really good defensively. I think Cameron's really good defensively. I think the big guys, when they're big guys, when our big guys set a screen, I think they're big guys when they're to help. I think their team defense was just so much stronger than our team offense was. I'm sure they had a focus on Marcus because he played very well against him last year. I don't know what the stat sheet was in the first game at our place that we won, but in the tournament he had 27. But he was 9 for 20 in that game. And so I think they made him an emphasis, but I don't think it was any one guy in particular. I mean, we ran an out-of-bounds play that we think we're going to get Marcus a great shot, and James Robinson came out and denied the pass to our feeder, and so we couldn't even get into it. So there were a lot of simple things like that, but I think defensively, know, I can't grade his team defensively because I don't know what he wants them to do. But my guess is that Jamie will feel like his defense was pretty good.
Coach, I know you always want guys to get out and shoot, but it seems like you have even less tolerance when they're giving up so much in the middle.
Yeah, you know, because it's easier to guard a smaller area, because you got all kinds of people. But they did spread us really well, and you know, they run the ball screens, they run the dribble handoff, they come out big guy screen. I mean, the last possession of the first half, I mean, there was a timeout. All right, we said, okay, we're going to do this, and if we decide to double, if I send somebody at them, let's make sure we get a good double team and make sure we get a goaltender. And we weren't going to really go run off somebody, but it was a situation that got a reset of the clock, and now it gets down inside 10, and so we decided to double. And so we double, and we don't get a tight double, so the guy steps right through and throws, and then they go straight to the basket and get a layup. So I can assure you that was not our plan. And, but that's bad coaching. You got to be able to get guys to do what you want to do on game day.
Coach, I know Jeter's been coming on as of late. He got his first start today, getting a lot of minutes the last 4 games. What kind of issues did he pose for you offensively?
Well, are you sure it was his first start? I thought he started the last game, but I'll take your word.
Oh, no, he
for it.
did start the last game. I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. I'm just like this first damn time I've been right all day. You know, 10 of 14, only 2 turnovers, 35 minutes. That's a pretty impressive line. You know, against, was it Syracuse, they had 16 or 18, something like that. I've always told all our guys, when you come off the bench, add something. You know, give us something in a positive. And they made a change in their starting lineup, put him in there. I think 2 games ago I said, or maybe it was this last game and this one, but he did some good things, made a bunch of shots, but I think he's a scorer. And I think at least that's what he showed me in the Syracuse game and in today's game.
Anybody else?
They made 6 of their 8 3-pointers in the first half. I guess, what did you guys do differently in the second half to limit them to only 2?
When they're getting 4-footers, why shoot a 20-footer? You know, because every possession early in the second half, they were getting 4-footer to 10-footer. I used to think a lot of times when I had teams that were players that didn't shoot it very well, if we made something in the first half, sometimes it's fool's gold. I hope that they wouldn't shoot as many in the second half. You know, you count your blessings that you made those. But I think in the they have one play that's almost identical to the play that we ran when I was on the freshman team 100 years ago. And we ran it every year with Coach Smith, and they ran the same play, and they kept getting the ball 3 feet from the basket on that. So I'd just say that it's probably the fact that they were getting what they wanted and didn't have to shoot the threes.
Thanks, Coach. I'll close.